today, Lesson 37. We're going to start this lesson with a brisk little exercise, exercise 352. You'll find that the main problem here is in the right hand. When you're playing two notes together, they have to be just that, exactly together. Whether it's the fifth and third fingers or the second and fourth fingers that you're using, they must strike the keys at precisely the same time. This doesn't happen automatically. There's a natural tendency for one of the fingers to hit the keyboard slightly before the other. But with some careful, slow practice, you'll soon learn to get your fingers coordinated. You'll find that tilting your wrist a little to the right brings your fifth finger nearer to the keys, which helps when you're using the 5-3 fingering. Don't get caught out by the last bar of this exercise, by the way. There's an awkward jump for the left hand from the second finger to the thumb across an octave. Practice it a few times on its own until you can manage it accurately. Exercise 352. Our solo piece for this lesson is by the 18th century composer Benedetto Marcello. It's an arrangement for keyboard of the Adagio from his oboe concerto in C minor. The music may look a bit fearsome at first because of the clumps of demi-semiquavers, but the tempo is very slow, so the demi-semiquavers are no faster than semiquavers in other music you've played. In fact, it's probably best to count this music as if there were 6 beats to the bar, counting 1 beat for each quaver. Then you can count the semiquavers as if they were quavers, 1 and 2 and 3 and you can count the demi-semiquavers like semiquavers, dabba 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 dabba. Let's hear the Adagio now. Follow through the written music as you listen and count the quaver beats at the same time. Adagio by Marcello. Although the Adagio is very slow, it's certainly not altogether easy to play. As well as 3 flats in the key signature, there are a large number of accidentals in the course of the music. This can make life difficult, especially as you mostly have 3-note chords to read in the left hand. If you find that you're constantly forgetting to play a particular note as a sharp or flat, when that's what it should be, just take a pen or pencil and write in the sharp or flat sign in front of the note. And do always remember that the influence of a sharp or flat sign lasts for a whole bar unless it's cancelled by a natural sign. Your fingers will need to be pretty nimble in places, especially in the demi-semiquaver passages. The answer is, as usual, to follow the fingering exactly as written and put in as much careful, slow practice as it takes, starting by practicing with the 2 hands separately. There are 2 points of detail worth mentioning. The double acciacchaturas should be played on the beat, and not too fast, in keeping with the general slow rhythm of the music. And secondly, don't be confused by the demi-semiquaver triplets, for instance in the first bar of the second page, page 435. Triplets are always 3 notes played in the time of 2. So these are 3 notes played in the time of 2 demi-semiquavers. Marcello's Adagio is a very dramatic and expressive piece, and you'll certainly find it's well worth the effort to learn to play it well. Now we're going to look at some more chords, the 6ths and 4ths. On page 437 of your booklet, you can see that a 6th chord is made up of a basic 3-note major chord plus a major 6th. That is the note 1 whole tone above the perfect 5th. So the C6 chord, for instance, is C, E, G and A. It sounds like this. In fact, this is sometimes called an added 6th chord, because it's the normal 3-note chord, the triad, with a 6th added to it. We've listed all the 6th chords in a summary table. It will be a good idea to play through these chords and try out the 3 inversions of each one. It's worth noting just in passing that the 3rd inversion of a 6th chord is the same as a minor 7th chord in the root position. For example, the C major 6th chord, C, E, G and A, becomes A, C, E and G, the same as the A minor 7th chord. In practice, the 6th chord is often used where you'd expect the basic major chord. In fact, it can perform almost the same function as the major chord, but with a different feel or flavour to it. Exercise 353 consists of 4 2-bar chord sequences, each beginning with the 6th chord. In the first 2-bar section, the chords are written out for you, but you have to work the others out for yourself. Notice that it's the first inversion of the 6th chord that you start with. Exercise 353. A 6th chord in a minor key is exactly the same, except that naturally it's based on the 3-note minor triad instead of the major triad. So the C minor 6th chord is made up of C, E flat, G and A, like this. We've listed all the minor 6th chords on page 438. A 4th chord is created by replacing the major 3rd in a triad by a perfect 4th. So the chord consists of the tonic note, the perfect 4th, and the perfect 5th. The notes of the C4 chord are C, F, and G. You can easily work out the other fourth chords for yourself. The G4 chord, for instance, is G, C and D. The B-flat 4 chord is B-flat, E-flat and F, and so on. A fourth chord is often used in front of the major chord of the same name, as in exercise 354, which follows now. By contrast with this sort of sophistication, rock and roll harks back to the simplest of blues styles. It usually sticks to the 12-bar form, using the most basic chord sequence. On page 440 of your booklet, you'll find a simplified 12-bar sequence for you to improvise. But what marks out rock and roll is its unmistakable rhythm, full of energy and excitement. Traditionally, the left hand provides a simple bass line, playing one note on each of the 4 beats of the bar, while the right hand brings out the distinctive rhythm, often with a dotted quaver, semiquaver pattern, although this certainly isn't always the case. We've set out 6 examples of common rock and roll styles for you, starting with example A. The thing that gives that example its distinctive sound is the use of a pattern in the right hand that repeats itself every 3 beats, although there are 4 beats to the bar. You'll hear the same effect in example B. Example C has a boogie bass line. In example D, there's a dotted quaver rest on the first beat of each bar in the right hand. This emphasizes the tendency of rock and roll players to stress the second and third beats of the bar. Example D. Example E is an accompaniment with repeated quaver chords in the right hand. Finally, example F, with an interesting syncopated effect produced by the quaver and crotchet chord tied across the bar line. If you want to play rock and roll, then you should get all these examples off by heart. Extend each example to the full 12 bars, filling it out according to a basic blues chord sequence. And try playing in different keys, not just C major, as we've done here. You'll be amazed at what progress you can make if you put in a bit of real effort. Blue Lady, our piece with backing for this lesson, will give you plenty of chance to practice your rock and roll skills. There's a lot of space for right-hand improvisation. When you improvise here, the best thing is to start by imitating the examples on pages 440 and 441. Only when you can do that reasonably comfortably, start introducing your own ideas. Because the music is fast, you won't find this rock and roll number easy to play at first. The sharps and flats, the fingering and the rhythms will all cause you some problems. The same principles apply to playing rock and roll as to any other music. Slow practice is the key to accuracy and eventual success. Once you've got the hang of it, you'll find Blue Lady enormous fun to play. Let's hear it now with keyboard and backing. When you play Blue Lady with the backing, remember to count in the 2 bars introduction before you come in. So, to end this lesson, here is the backing to Blue Lady without the keyboard part.